So, yeah, I'd like to say a couple of words before we started. First of all, thank you again to join us today. Yeah, as you know, today's our topic is smart contract security audit and why you don't need to do it yourself. Yeah, and before we start, I would like to tell you a little bit more about our scenario today. First of all, after Alex present his thoughts about this topic, we received before today's meetup several questions, and first of all, after presentation, we will answer them. I mean, Alex will answer them. And during this during Alex's speech, you can write down all your questions in the chat. And after that, I will answer them too. And yeah, for questions, we will have only 10 minutes. And if we will not answer all of your questions, we will prepare in text format all answers and post them in our Telegram chat. And if you didn't join our Telegram chat, you can do it right now. I'm sure you received a QR code or link to our Telegram chat, and you can join it right now. So, yeah, let's begin. Today's speaker, as you know, Alex Mazaletsky. He's our partner, our technical expert, and we built a lot of projects together. And as I know Alex as one of the best technical expert in smart contract domain, in blockchain domain. So yeah, and I'm sure he prepared his best speech, his best presentation. So let's start it. Alex, please proceed.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining, and big thanks to Metalan for organizing this event. My name is Alexander Mazaletsky, and I am team lead auditor at Oxorio. My journey as a blockchain developer on Ethereum started in 2015, so I have had a tight relation with Ethereum from its very early days. I can call myself a blockchain evangelist. I am also a former founder and chief engineer of blockchain studios Dicoiner and ZCT. Between 2018-2021, I used to be a CTO and the chief engineer of blockchain startup Acropolis. Also, I've always been passionate about hackathons and took a prize at 0x Hackathon 2019, HackMoney 2020. Today, I invite you to dive into the topic of smart contract security audit. I'll give you some general information about the topic and share our insights, best practices, and interesting cases from our work at Oxorio. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Roman, our moderator, will read them during the Q&A session. Okay, let's get started. Some introduction to blockchain and smart contracts. Smart contracts are self-executing digital agreements that are an integral part of blockchain technology. They enable transparent and tamper-proof transactions without the need to intermediaries. However, these contracts are not immune to errors, bugs, and vulnerabilities that can have disastrous consequences for the parties involved. That's why it's essential to conduct a smart contracts audit. A smart contracts audit is a comprehensive review of the code to identify and eliminate any potential security risks and ensure that the contract's logic is working as intended. By conducting a smart contract audit, you can mitigate the risk of financial losses, reputational damage, and the legal disputes that may arise due to security breaches and other issues. Therefore, it's critical to conduct a smart contracts audit before deploying the contract on the blockchain network to ensure that it's secure and reliable. Let's summarize what has been said and go through the main risk of blockchain development without a proper smart contracts audit. First, if your smart contract hasn't been checked properly, it simply might not work as intended. In some cases, it can affect the core functionality of your product and lead to reputational or financial risks. Second, it's difficult to update the code after smart contract has been written to the blockchain. You must ensure smart contracts match your documentation requirements and has all the needed functionality. Third, you also risk losing the entire contract and associated assets due to security vulnerabilities in smart contracts. Smart contracts audit can help you avoid all of these problems. It's important to know that different auditors companies have different approaches when it comes to security and sometimes can find various issues in the contract. That's why hiring 2-3 auditors companies is always better for reviewing your smart contracts. Here, some examples from the industry. You can see how much pain can cause an unaudited smart contract. Why you don't need to audit yourself? I think the importance of audit is clear by now, but why can't the company do it in-house? First of all, it's bad practice to audit your own code. Developers know exactly how the code should work and often don't think about the cases when something can go wrong. Independent auditors can look at the project with fresh eyes and sometimes find critical vulnerabilities that were missed by the development team. Also, in-house developers simply don't have proper skills to look for vulnerabilities in the code. Auditors understand how contracts can be hacked. They are trained to search for vulnerabilities and have seen a lot of vulnerability cases in the projects. In addition to that, for some projects, the external audit with the public record is a must-have to attract customers and investors. When should you do an audit? When it comes to smart contract auditing, timing is crucial. It's best to start thinking about the audit during the development phase itself. You can invite the auditor's company for the consultation during the development phase. They can help you to choose the safest and most optimal solutions, but this practice is rare in the industry. Usually, the auditor starts when the development is complete. It's important to freeze the code before audit. Otherwise, the auditor's company will not know about new changes and you have risk of deploying the version that has been checked properly. You need to plan the audit phase in your product development roadmap because it takes time. For minor smart contracts, it can a minimum of 1 week, but the audit of big projects can take up to a few months. Audits are different. Let's briefly analyze it. The engineering audit includes verification of the architecture and technological solution of the project. This is mostly consulting. Auditors companies can also do a code review or a formal code verification. In this case, they don't go deep in the project logics and don't prepare the report. They mainly check the quality of the code. This analysis is suitable for large and complex projects. Audit of economic models is a check of the stability of the economic models of the project and the construction of simulation based on the game theory. For example, this is why the gauntlet network does. And finally, security audit. What do we do at Oxorio? Verification of the code of compliance with the current security standards, as well as the search and analysis vulnerabilities in the projects, abuse of the contract code. How to interact with audit? Auditors companies are only part responsible for the overall audit success. The primary responsibility for the code quality and project architecture is always on the development team. There are few best practices for handing your scope to the auditor companies to achieve the best audit results and save time for both sides of the process. First of all, it's important that the code is well tested before release. Auditor still doesn't have to correct your code mistakes or run tests for you if it's not a code review type of audit. Try to provide well-written documentation. It will help auditors better understand the essence of the executable code and save time for both sides, because you will not have to discuss every unclear detail in your scope. You should clearly understand the role of auditors team. They are not meant to change your product architecture. Experienced auditors can give you suggestions about architecture improvement, but their primary job is to check your smart contracts for vulnerabilities and make sure it's aligned with documentation. Make sure you send the right commit to auditors team. It should be the same commit that you're planning to release. Don't change the commit during the process. Each audit team has its own approaches and best practices. I will share some best practices that we use at Oxorio. Most of our clients have big scopes of audits. Our average audit takes 1-2 months. It's not convenient for the development team to freeze the code and wait for our final report with all found issues and suggestions for such a long time. That's why we prepare 1-3 intermediate reports. It helps the developers team to start fixing issues long before our final report, which results in saving a significant amount of time and money for our clients. Even auditors from one team have different styles of work, knowledge base, and experience. It's very important that the same scope is reviewed by at least 2 auditors in the team. This approach helps to find much more issues in the scope. During the process, our auditors get really deep in the project's logic and understand how to fix all issues that we find. Sometimes the audit, we offer technical support to the development team, check their fixes, and advise during the issue fixing process. Let's look at some interesting cases from our work. The first case is the classical problem of converting ERC20 tokens to decimals. It's not secret that ERC20 tokens are different and each works with different precision. When we talk about precision, we mean the number of digits following the decimal point. For example, dollar and euro have 2 digits. As a rule, USDC 6 digits, DAI 18. In this example, the developers try to make a conversation to exchange tokens one-to-one. For example, USDC with 6 decimals to DAI with 18 decimals, but they did it wrong. As a result, after the exchange, it turns out 100 times more or less as the output. Case 2, multisig. The following case is a code snippet from a real multisig wallet. You see here the deletion code of one of the members. Looks good, but this code contains critical bug. Removing owners does not remove these user signatures from already existing requests. This example successfully demonstrates that the small code can contain critical errors and does not consider dependencies. Case 3, classic attack. This is one more case. This code contains a bug that has been affected almost more than 50 projects. This is a reentrancy attack. The fact is the inner function, there is an external call to the project contract, but further down the chain, at the final call, a call to an unsafe contract will occur. Updating a delegate occurs only at the end, which made it possible to loop the call by reentrancy and perform an attack. In other words, the attacking smart contracts repeatedly calls the withdrawal function before the vulnerable smart contracts has had time to update the balance. Who we are? We are Oxorio. Oxorio started from a group of friends interested in blockchain technology and security. And now we are welcome more auditors claiming changes. We have a good reputation in the industry and are proud to have clients like 1inch, Lido, Rarible, and so on in our portfolio. During our work, we understood that some of the hacks were made not through the smart contracts vulnerabilities, but the vulnerabilities in other parts of the infrastructure. That's why it's important to check the whole system, not just smart contracts. We want to be able to support our clients security-wise on all levels. That's why we recently started to provide infrastructure and penetration testing support as well. We have come to the end of the presentation. We like to stay in touch with you. Here, the information about social media where you can find us and follow our updates. The best way to request an audit is to fill the form on our website or text us by mail or telegram. Also, we are hiring. If you're interested in becoming a smart contracts auditors or already have some experience and would like to work with us, please get in touch with us. We have a great team of rockstar auditors. You might be our new star. I think now we can start our Q&A session. Roman, please ask you questions in the chat.
Yep, Alex, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that presentation. Yeah, we had, as I said, we received several questions, as I know there are 4 questions from our registration form, right? And here's a couple of questions in our meeting chat. So yeah, let's start it from the first one from our registration form. The first question: what is the main downfall of a smart contract with respect to hackers?
Smart contracts on Ethereum are Turing complete. In other words, universal. Almost all Turing complete systems are vulnerable to vulnerability. For example, look at how Java security updates come out. There will be almost someone who can hack even for the most secure contract.
Okay, all right. Yeah, second question. Just, give me a second. Could you tell us best ways to fast understanding whole protocol logic?
Read and study the code. Check the code of other projects. Here is in classical computer science, the more you know the theory of computer science and the more practice you have, the easy it's for you.
Oh, okay. And the third one, give me a second. Yes, someone wrote, I am an aspiring smart contract developer. Which modern frameworks and technologies are worth learning first?
You can learn Hardhat or Foundry as frameworks, but first look for a deep understanding of Solidity, EVM, and how Ethereum works in general.
Okay, all right. And the last one, why smart contracts are still unsecured?
Because smart contracts are written in Solidity, which is compiled into EVM bytecode, which is then executed on the nodes. In fact, this system consists of compiler, interpreter, and execution environment. Each part is constantly being updated or corrected. You can be confident in the Solidity code, but the compiler may contain errors and so on. But often, of course, the problem is that the crypto industry is a very young, rapidly growing industry, and only a few projects can afford an audit for several months.
Yep. Yeah, thank you very much. That was all questions from our registration form. And yeah, someone in meeting chat asked me, do I plan to ignore all questions raised in the chat? No, I will not ignore all of your questions. I told that, first of all, we will answer only questions from registration form. And now we will proceed with other questions. And our first question in the chat, do most projects that want an audit come with proper documentation and test? Should contracts without proper test and docs even be accepted for an audit? Yeah, Alex, can you please answer this question too?
In the perfect world, projects without proper documentation and test will not be accepted by auditors. But in the real world, we often have to work with these kinds of the projects. It's more difficult, of course, and takes more time for both sides.
Yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, and here's more of a business question. Did the crypto winter significantly impact the inflow of projects seeking an audit? or does the audit market keep on growing steady even now? Yes, that's a question from someone seeking a career. All right. That's a question from someone seeking a career in the industry.
Crypto with has impacts the whole crypto industry, but we haven't noticed the significant drop in request for the smart contracts audits. Big projects keep the development according to plan and always need audits for the updates and new releases.
Okay. And the next one is here's some comment. Many of the contracts are already audited. However, Columbia Law Review article reports that most of the ICOs claim different features than they smart contracts provide. All right, and here's the link. I see you only consider security. Do you also provide a service that checks consistency of features described in the white paper versus those in smart contracts?
1-2 minutes.
I can rephrase it if you want, or repeat.
Repeat, please.
So here's the thing. Sometimes different projects claim that they have some features, but in the real project they don't have them, right? And do you provide service like you checking all that features? Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, we check if the documentation is aligned with the smart contracts itself. If not, we consult developers.
Okay. And if sorry, here's okay. I received a message from my colleagues, and right now unfortunately we don't have enough time to answer all other questions because there are a lot of questions. So guys, as I told you, we don't have time for everything, and we had only 10 minutes. So I propose to answer all your questions in our chat. I would like to ensure you that every question will be answered, definitely. So, and here right now we need to end our presentation, our meetup. And at the end, I would like to say that say thank you to Alex. It was nice presentation. I hope it would be handful for every attendees. And guys, if you will have more questions, just send them to us. I'm sure you have link of our managers, and please send them all, and we will answer everything, but a little bit later. So thank you very much, Alex. Thank you too for that presentation, guys. See you in the chat, and we will answer everything. Thank you very much.